Did you know some of our national parks are over 100 years old? Today I'm going to show you how to use pie charts and common functions to uncover stories like this in your data. Whether you're a beginner or just want to make your data come to life, let's dive in and see what we can reveal with Google Sheets. There is a little setup we need to get started. For a pie chart to work well, you need to set up the data. So settle in and let's go on this journey together. We'll share some of our favorite hikes as we discuss Google Sheets features throughout the video. But first, we have a list of the 63 national parks in the United States and the date they were designated a national park. If you want a copy of this sheet to practice with, click the link in our video description. Through a list of questions, we're going to determine the age of each park, bucket these parks into age groups by sorting the list and using VLOOKUP, then use the COUNTIF function to discover how many parks are in each bucket, and then finish with a pie chart to visualize each bucket with percentage labels. Stay until the end to see how this data is transformed into a visual story that you can learn from about the age of our national parks. So the first thing we need to ask is how to calculate age in Google Sheets. As you can see here, Yellowstone was the first national park in the United States, designated way back in 1872. But we don't know how old Yellowstone is. So let's build a formula to help us do that. I like to use the today function combined with the birth date to help calculate age. So the formula is equals, open parentheses, today, open parentheses, close parentheses, minus D5, close parentheses, divided by 365. The formula, today, calculates today's date, so this chart will always update and subtracts the date in cell D5, then takes the result of that in days and divides by 365 days to get years. Make sure you use the parentheses to get order of operations right, or PEMDAS, in the right order. Now you can use number formatting to remove the decimals. So in working through this schedule, I took time here to create my age buckets. I want to know how many national parks are more than 100 years old, then 80, 60, 40, 20, and less than 20 years old. How many national parks do you think are over 100 years old? Put your guess in the comments. But in order to get the data ready for VLOOKUP, we need to sort the data from youngest to oldest. So how do I sort data in Google Sheets? To sort the national parks from youngest to oldest, we need to first highlight the data, then click Data, Sort Range, then Advanced Range Sorting Options. This will bring up a pop-up with choices you need to make. With the way I selected the data, I'm going to select Data Has Header Row and sort by column E, Age, and choose A to Z. Now my list is sorted from youngest to oldest. Z to A would have sorted the list from oldest to youngest. Did you know New River Gorge was the youngest national park? Okay, so for me to understand this, I decided that I want the age group sorted youngest to oldest too, so we're going to sort again. Highlight the range H4 to H10 and click Data, Sort Range. Sort range by column H, A to Z. Well, that didn't work. Why? Since we didn't use Advanced, we weren't able to communicate to Google Sheets that we had a header. But we could have selected H5 to H10, and that method would have worked fine. Click Undo or use shortcut Control-Z to undo. Now click Data, Sort Range, Advanced Range Sorting Options, select Data Has Header Row, sort by age group A to Z, and click Sort. Now we have the age group sorted from youngest to oldest. We're going to work through VLOOKUP next and get to the pie chart, but why do people use pie charts in Google Sheets? People use pie charts in Google Sheets to visually represent data as parts of a whole. They're especially helpful for showing proportions and percentages, making it easier to see how individual categories compare within a single data set or total group. Here are some common uses. Some people use it to calculate market share, displaying each competitor's percentage of a market. They can do a budget breakdown, showing how different categories like rent, utilities, groceries make up a personal or business budget. To understand survey results, visualizing the distribution of responses to a question, for example, agree, neutral, disagree, or to see sales by product, illustrating how much each product contributes to total sales. You can also use pie charts for time allocation, tracking how total time is split across different activities or projects. These are just some examples of what pie charts can help you with. Pie charts work best when you have just a few categories, as too many slices can make them hard to read. But remember, pie charts are great to understand how pieces make up the total. Alright, back to the build and how to use VLOOKUP to label data into groups. To get each national park into the appropriate bucket, we're going to compare the age of each park to the age group using VLOOKUP. So in cell F5, type in equals VLOOKUP, open parentheses, and you will notice the function come up. Here, you will see we need to enter in the search key range, index, and is sorted. The search key will be the age of the park. The range is the age group age 5 to age 10. We don't need the index because there is only one column, and the is sorted is true, so the function knows the age group is sorted youngest to oldest. So for New River Gorge, the formula is equals VLOOKUP, open parentheses, E5, comma, H5, colon, H10, comma, true, close parentheses, using the strings or dollar signs to keep the range as we copy down the column to the other parks. The result is 0 to show that New River Gorge National Park is less than 20 years old. Did you know that you didn't need an index when the range and index are the same? With the proven formula, the autofill automatically comes up. We'll go ahead and click the green check mark to paste this formula down the list. But now that we know the parks by age bucket, we need to know how many parks are in each bucket. So, how do you do a COUNTIF formula in Google Sheets? COUNTIF is really helpful when you have data and want to count how many records based on a certain condition. It is a simple calculation, so in cell I5, enter equals, COUNTIF, open parentheses. And here you will notice that the formula is asking for a range and a condition. The range will be the column that you are trying to count. For us, it is the range age group in column F. So we will select the range by clicking on F5 and then hit Ctrl plus Shift plus down arrow to F67 and add the strings to hold that range when we copy down to the other buckets. The second item the COUNTIF function needs is the condition. So enter H5 to select 0 in the age group bucket. So here I am counting how many times the formula sees 0 in the age group data in column F. And the answer is 5. When we hit enter, the suggested autofill pops up and we want to hit the green check mark to paste to the remaining buckets. Before we get to the pie chart, are you liking this format? We share Google Sheets in this manner to help you learn Google Sheets in an applied way. Subscribe now so that the next time you search Google Sheets, our videos come up at the top of your search results. Okay, how to make a pie chart with percentages in Google Sheets. With our summarized table of national parks counted by age group, we have the data we need to create the pie chart. So click Insert Chart, and two things happen. First, the chart box shows up in the middle of the screen, but a chart editor also shows up on the right of the screen. The chart box is asking for a data series. In the chart editor, there is a data range field. Click on the little 4 square to the right of the data range, and another pop-up will launch. Use your mouse and select the data. You will notice that there are selected ranges below. But here you will notice that Google Sheets picked our range, age 4 to age 10, correctly. Now click OK, and we get a bar chart, but we want a pie chart. There are a lot of options in the editor. Click on Setup, and in the Suggested section, you see a pie chart available. We'll choose that one, but you could scroll down and find a couple more pie chart options. Look at the pie chart. Here you will see it labeled, the pie chart with each bucket, and the relative percent of the total, which is exactly what we wanted. But we can make it prettier. So, how can I design a pie chart in Google Sheets? Now that we have the pie chart, click on Customize. Here you will notice you can select the background color. Let's select black. But you can also move the chart and resize it. You can also select a border color. I'll choose red. I can also make the pie 3D, which I think looks better. But the black just doesn't work. So let's choose a blue. Here you will notice the numbers stand out better. You can also change each pie slice like the colors of each slice of the pie. Distance from center moves the slice away from the main pie. The chart titles can also be adjusted, and there are edits you can make to the legend, like moving the pie slice names to the bottom, but I like them the way they were. So what does this pie chart tell us? 1, 25% of national parks are 100 years old or older. 2, only 5 national parks are designated in the last 20 years. But did you know this pie chart is living? Each day the parks get older. Using the Today function, that data is dynamic and the age of the parks get older. But I could also change the age groups, and the VLOOKUP and COUNTIF functions will automatically calculate different results and update the pie chart. So if I change bucket 100 to 125, the data updates and the pie chart changes. So now the over 80 years old bucket has 23 national parks, and the over 125 years old only has 4 national parks. To learn more Google Sheets, watch this video next.